the forests of Congo. Remember how you helped us walk on free. From the pyramids to the Table Mountain, how our children rose from dust. The past is past, what was lost is in our hands. Winds of change on Africa, the spirit of peace fell like rain. For equal rights and justice now comes grace. We love you, we love you. Say Mandela, son of Africa, this is a song for you. Umkhonto wesizwe, Nelson Mandela, Tata Madiba, siyabonga kakhulu baba. Singubani, imba nawe, uluyimba. From the Everest to the Rwenzori and the Taj Mahal, they knew your name because you fought for raid and sought for all. From the Akura to Himalaya, across the Great Wall of China, freedom sprayed from Sydney to Victoria Falls. Hey.